Good day everyone, Garage King here, and if you have a broken ABS wheel harness, it looks like this, the end piece will look like this, then stay tuned because we're going to fix it on today's video. This way you don't have to buy the whole harness. So here you can see where it was pulled out. This is the end piece here. I'm just going to remove this part here from the spindle that just unclips, and we can pull it right out and then put it on the bench. There you can see I've just unclipped it, and there's how the wire is actually supposed to go together. So now you can see on the bench, we have it on the bench, and if we pull the rubber piece off right here, and it is tight, I should make note too, just to let you all know, this one in particular is from a Rabbit. So it's a VW piece, it's from a Rabbit, I believe it's a 2007 Rabbit. So that's what this one's from. Now, as you can see, I have my little tool here. Now this one's made for disconnecting electrical connections within factory fittings, and it doesn't seem to be working. Let me speed up the video because I've tried a whole bunch of stuff, and actually on AliExpress I just ordered another one recently that's got like a whole bunch, so that one might have it, but this one little tool I have, the red one in the background, just didn't seem to work, so that's no good, so we got to devise another plan. So now this is working, so let's try to cut it off with this razor blade if this works. Worst case scenario, if I wreck it, we're just going to have to put a whole new harness in. Now will be a great time for me just to remind you to please subscribe, trying to grow my channel, so I would really appreciate if you would just hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to this video. You can see I'm getting a little frustrated here and it is just not working, so I think I may have come up with an idea. Okay, so I thought if we can't cut it off, let's just use the grinding wheel and take it off this way, because we got to get to those wires down in underneath. So now that I got the grinding wheel here, having a little bit of trouble starting it. Let me just give it a tap with the finger. There we go, it'll start. What I'm going to do is take off the top piece of the plastic, and I'll put up a little magnifying glass in a second, just so you can see, there we go, right there, where that red part is there, because we don't want to cut right through it. The blade on this thing is made for metal, so cutting through this plastic is really, really easy. And what we were just trying to do is take off the top part so we can attach new wires to the already very, very short wires. Okay, so here we're going to finish cutting it up, speeding up the video here. We'll get my pliers, and then we're going to pull off the end and show you just how much we have to work with, which is not a lot. And there you go, quick little freeze frame there, and you can see we're going to have to attach new wires to this piece. So what I'm doing now is I've just twisted them, I've used my wire stripper, and I have stripped the wires, and we're just preparing them because I'm going to use heat shrink, and we're going to put some heat shrink crimp type tubing onto the wires. And then hopefully this holds. We'll see, I'm not 100% sure, but hopefully it holds. We're doing a little experiment, but well, let's see, folks. Okay. So these are the little plastic things here, but the problem is they're too long because we really don't have much wire poking out. So what I'm going to have to actually do is just cut the ends off the one side that's going to be actually touching the connector. The other side we don't have to. Okay, so you can see I've crimped one onto the connector. You can see one's actually attached. Now I'm just going to grab another one and do the same thing. I just got to cut the end off one of them, and then what I'll do is I'll crimp it. It seems to be working so far, so let's cut the end off this other one here, and we will crimp it on.
All right, let's try this out.
So now we're back at the vehicle, and I'm going to crimp our connector onto the factory harness wiring. So there you can see I got my crimping connector tool, so going to do that. And then once it's on, now what I have to do is apply some heat. So what we want to do is shrink that heat shrinking, it's not really heat shrink tubing, but whatever it is, these heat shrink connectors, we want to shrink them right down. So this way we get a perfect seal and no moisture can come in there. Now I was a little bit worried about them bending, so what I decided to do was put some loom on here, and then what this will do is it'll help hold it straight. So you can see there I got the loom on top, and then what I'm going to do is actually put another piece of loom on top of this piece of loom. Now the second piece of loom that I'm putting on top is a bigger piece than the first piece. So I think the first one was like 1/4 inch and the second one was like 3/8. And then now you can see I'm just applying some RVT silicone, and I'm just making sure that I'm really basically filling the area as much as I can. Okay, so here now I'm just going to speed up the video. So I'm just going to tidy up the harness. The biggest thing is to make sure that you have the wiring loom on all the way down to the bottom, and you have a bunch of silicone, because that'll harden, it'll get really rubbery, and it'll protect it from bending, so you shouldn't have a short. So I don't know how long this is going to last, but hopefully it lasts better than buying a new harness. The other thing I'm doing right here is you can see I'm actually taking some electrical tape. This will help strengthen it a little bit. So that's pretty much it for my video. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have any comments, please leave them below. That's how it looks when it's all done. So it actually looks okay. We're just going to plug it in now. There you go. So please consider subscribing to my channel. Like I said, if you have any comments, please leave them below. That is it for now. Garage King over and out. There's a freeze frame, so it's all done.